The Book of Leviticus. Chapter 1. The Lord called Moses and spoke to him from the tent of meeting.
Speak to the Israelites and tell them, when any one of you brings an offering of livestock to the Lord, you shall bring your offering from the herd or from the flock. If a person's offering is a burnt offering from the herd, the offering must be a male without blemish. The individual shall bring it to the entrance of the tent of meeting to find favor with the Lord, and shall lay a hand on the head of the burnt offering, so that it may be acceptable to make atonement for the one who offers it. The bull shall then be slaughtered before the Lord, and Aaron's sons, the priests, shall offer its blood by splashing it on all the sides of the altar, which is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Then the burnt offering shall be flayed and cut into pieces. After Aaron's sons, the priests, have put burning embers on the altar and laid wood on them, they shall lay the pieces of meat, together with the head and the suet, on top of the wood and the embers on the altar. But the inner organs and the shanks shall be washed with water. The priest shall then burn all of it on the altar as a burnt offering, a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. If a person's burnt offering is from the flock, that is, a sheep or a goat, the offering must be a male without blemish. It shall be slaughtered on the north side of the altar before the Lord. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall splash its blood on all the sides of the altar. When it has been cut into pieces, the priest shall lay these, together with the head and suet, on top of the wood and the embers on the altar. But the inner organs and the shanks shall be washed with water. The priest shall then offer all of it, burning it on the altar. It is a burnt offering, a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. If a person offers a bird as a burnt offering to the Lord, the offering brought must be a turtle dove or a pigeon. Having brought it to the altar, the priest shall wring its head off and burn it on the altar. The blood shall be drained out against the side of the altar. He shall remove its chrism by means of its feathers, and throw it on the ash heap at the east side of the altar. Then, having torn the bird open by its wings without separating the halves, the priest shall burn it on the altar, on the wood and the embers. It is a burnt offering, a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord.
Chapter 2.
When anyone brings a grain offering to the Lord, the offering must consist of bran flour. The offerer shall pour oil on it and put frankincense over it, and bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests. A priest shall take a handful of the bran flour and oil, together with all the frankincense, and shall burn it on the altar as a token of the offering, a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. The rest of the grain offering belongs to Aaron and his sons, a most holy portion from the oblations to the Lord. When you offer a grain offering baked in an oven, it must be in the form of unleavened cakes made of bran flour mixed with oil, or of unleavened wafers spread with oil. If your offering is a grain offering, that is fried on a griddle. It must be of bran flour, mixed with oil and unleavened. Break it into pieces, and pour oil over it. It is a grain offering. If your offering is a grain offering that is prepared in a pan, it must be made of bran flour, fried in oil. A grain offering that is made in any of these ways you shall bring to the Lord. It shall be presented to the priest, who shall take it to the altar. The priest shall then remove from the grain offering a token and burn it on the altar as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. The rest of the grain offering belongs to Aaron and his sons, a most holy portion from the oblations to the Lord.
Every grain offering that you present to the Lord shall be unleavened. For you shall not burn any leaven or honey as an oblation to the Lord. Such you may present to the Lord in the offering of the first produce that is processed, but they are not to be placed on the altar for a pleasing odor. You shall season all your grain offerings with salt. Do not let the salt of the covenant with your God be lacking from your grain offering. On every offering you shall offer salt. If you offer a grain offering of first ripe fruits to the Lord, you shall offer it in the form of fresh early grain, roasted by fire and crushed as a grain offering of your first ripe fruits. You shall put oil on it and set frankincense on it. It is a grain offering. The priest shall then burn some of the groats and oil together with all the frankincense as a token of the offering, an oblation to the Lord.
Chapter 3.
If a person's offering is a communion sacrifice, if it is brought from the herd, be it a male or a female animal, it must be presented without blemish before the Lord. The one offering, it shall lay a hand on the head of the offering. It shall then be slaughtered at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Aaron's sons, the priests, shall splash its blood on all the sides of the altar. From the communion sacrifice, the individual shall offer as an oblation to the Lord the fat that covers the inner organs, and all the fat that adheres to them, as well as the 2 kidneys, with the fat on them near the loins, and the lobe of the liver, which is removed with the kidneys. Aaron's sons shall burn this on the altar with a burnt offering that is on the wood and the embers, as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. If the communion sacrifice one offers to the Lord is from the flock, be it a male or a female animal, it must be presented without blemish. If one presents a lamb as an offering, that person shall bring it before the Lord, and after laying a hand on the head of the offering, it shall then be slaughtered before the tent of meeting. Aaron's sons shall splash its blood on all the sides of the altar. From the communion sacrifice, the individual shall present as an oblation to the Lord its fat, the whole fatty tail, which is removed close to the spine, the fat that covers the inner organs, and all the fat that adheres to them, as well as the 2 kidneys, with the fat on them near the loins, and the lobe of the liver, which is removed with the kidneys. The priest shall burn this on the altar as food, an oblation to the Lord. If a person's offering is a goat, the individual shall bring it before the Lord, and after laying a hand on its head, it shall then be slaughtered before the tent of meeting. Aaron's sons shall splash its blood on all the sides of the altar. From this, the one sacrificing shall present an offering as an oblation to the Lord. The fat that covers the inner organs and all the fat that adheres to them, as well as the 2 kidneys, with the fat on them near the loins, and the lobe of the liver, which is removed with the kidneys. The priest shall burn these on the altar as food, a sweet-smelling oblation. All the fat belongs to the Lord. They shall be a perpetual ordinance for your descendants wherever they may dwell. You shall not eat any fat or any blood.